What's up? Bomb92 here, new review today, and if you haven't noticed, I'm at home. We're on winter break here. School, but I'm going to do a quick review for you today. I have to do a little bit of news, but fact of the matter is, there hasn't really been much going on other than the Final Fantasy VII debug one. I don't really care. Final Fantasy VII came on, if I believe I am speaking correctly here, 16 CDs. Now, if you take two of those CDs and put them into a game, you get an episode. That's pretty much it. You get 8 episodes out of it. I don't care. But anyways, on to the review. Today we're going to be talking about Guitar Hero Live, and I just happened to buy the Wii U one because it's a console I own. But they're pretty much the same on all the consoles, so I'll just go on with the one I have. So Guitar Hero Live. First, I'm going to talk about the good things about this game. It actually does things a bit differently. If you notice on the back, and I'm not sure if you can get a good... That's actually a cutscene taken out of the game. It's really interesting having this live. It's not the cartoons, like the people jumping and then they just stop jumping. It does flashes back and forth between if they're happy and if they're upset with you. But you can always switch between the two, and I haven't been kicked off the stage yet. Another thing I actually like, and trust me, is the new controller. This is the old one. I had it with World Tour. You can tell the button format is a bit different on the new one, and the controller is a bit smaller. But that is not a really huge problem if you really like the Guitar Hero franchise. Now, give me a second. Something popped up on my computer, and I really don't want to... But the good news about this controller is you got everything in the bottom, and it's way lighter than the Wii version, because you have to stick a remote in here. Don't forget that. You have to stick a remote in this puppy, and it's pretty heavy as is. This is even lighter than this, without the remote in it. But all the button configurations are the same. You got your plus signs, which are your pause signs, your star power, hero power, and then you got your strum bars. This has that extra fretboard where it's tap fret, whereas you got your normal 5 up here. As the new controller has 6 buttons, and the thing about the new controller 6-button layout is it actually forces you. Sometimes it actually forces you to play something like a chord where you're playing 2 notes, and one of them will be black and one of them will be white, and then because the way the button layout is, if you can't tell, it's actually 2 sides to each button. So there's the gap in the middle, and then there's 3 buttons on this side, 3 buttons on that side. The way you can play it is you can open strum, chord, and then play either side just as single notes, and it's actually pretty good. Ingenious idea. Now, is there any real gripes about the controller? Yes, there is, but I'll save that for the gripe side. Another cool thing, Guitar Hero TV, and there's lots of content on there already. But it is Guitar Hero, so it is meant for the casual gamer, and it's not really meant for a hardcore game. But hey, that's just me, and this is actually one of the good... This is actually a really good game in the Guitar Hero franchise, and I'm saying that it's a good game for a Guitar Hero game, but also as a game in itself, it's kind of meh, and you'll see why when I give off the bunch of grapes I have for it in a second. But it is actually really good. Now, get mad at me if you may want, because the game's already been out for a while, you might have played it yourself, and you completely disagree with my grapes, but anyways, here we go with the grapes. Sometimes, and there's the occasional cutscene that comes up in here, especially when you're playing Guitar Hero TV, but this is when you're introduced to Guitar Hero TV and such. My biggest gripe with Guitar Hero TV is the first cutscene is blurry. Now, I'm not sure whether it's because they compressed it to make it fit on a proprietary DVD of the Wii U, or what the heck happened there, but it's a blurry cutscene, and typically on 8th gen consoles, you can play full 1080p video output. The Wii U can do full 1080p gameplay and full 1080p video output. So I don't know what the heck was up with this, that it wasn't a very clear picture. And another gripe is with the guitar. This little thing here is the dongle for the guitar. And this is the dongle for the mouse that I use with this computer. You see how small the dongle is? You gotta be nuts, because you could easily lose this dongle. Let's just say you're not playing Guitar Hero and you decide to take the dongle out of your console or transport the console to another place. I am going to lose this. Just as much as I'm going to lose this, but in the interest of fairness, if you're transporting this, there is no place to put the dongle. And you can look, it's pretty clean. I mean, there isn't really a whole lot of spot where you could put it. Now, if I remember where I put my mouse, give me a second here. Oh, here it is. In my mouse, now I haven't turned this on because it's not connected, but in my mouse, that little hole there, don't go in. I just save myself a pain when I go to use this mouse things. I don't use a dongle for this. This dongle I'll lose for the Guitar Hero. That shouldn't be happening. And another gripe I have, also part of the game, is the lack of offline content. Now, the online content might be good, and the fact that you actually get to play with live music is actually pretty good, except for the fact when the strum bar will go away, so that way you don't mess up any notes or anything when you're having a blast and all of a sudden, you get a long break. That's not a bad thing when the strum bar, but also the strum bar goes away and then it comes back with about maybe sometimes 2 seconds depending on how fast the song is for tempo. Now, that's not a bad thing, but it can be a little bit of a gripe for especially people who don't know how fast the song is actually meant to be in the first place. For example, there are a couple of songs on the game soundtrack where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's just like, whoa, quickly letting me you're not giving me any time to get into it. Okay. Another gripe is, the lack of offline content for how much online content there is. And that's not only because this is only because there's 2 concerts to play. Well, 2 places, like 2 different style concerts. They're like BDJs of Guitar Hero instead of, it's a bunch of concerts with a bunch of, actually these bands are fictional. If you go into the, you can unlock pictures of bands and stuff in the description. There's actually a description of the band that you play as, which is kind of cool. So you get to essentially meet the band on the game. But the fact is, there's only 2 of those style of things, and the fact is, I wish there was almost more offline content like this, especially when you have a crappy internet connection like I have at home. If you're wondering, I'm probably going to upload this. I probably uploaded it at school. That's why I'm griping about the internet connection at home, because it's not so good. But, yeah. And here's actually another good thing about the game is you can actually use the old Guitar Hero mic. So I own World Tour, that's why I have the guitar, and the drums are a pile of crap, I'm sorry. But the fact is, this is probably the first Activision game I bought that I haven't bought used. I bought this brand new for $120. 1 guitar and the Guitar Hero. I mean, The Rock Band 4 packages are considerably more because they give you the guitar, the drums, maybe a couple of guitars and the drums, and a mic. But the fact is, they're just... And the dongle is bigger on their guitars because they have a pass-through feature which allows not only allows you to play it also allows you to connect a USB device to your console. Honestly, on the Wii version, it was nice to have wireless controllers where you can use them like the Guitar Hero controller, which is a bit funky. But at the same time, it could be great. But the controller is actually really good. It feels really nice. You can use the strum bar, move around all the menus. You use black buttons actually to navigate the menus instead of your typical like hitting the 5 buttons and then you got options, you got yada yada. But it's actually a really good console. It's actually a really good feel, this new guitar. And Activision nailed the guitar. They probably spent a lot more time on the guitar than the actual game. That being said, the gameplay is not as good as you think, because here comes another gripe. You have to hit the note later than it appears in front of the note. So, say I'm playing along, when the note comes onto your fret bar, typically you have maybe a quarter second before and a quarter second after to actually hit that note. It's not much. It's like it's not even a quarter of a beat. It's probably like a 16th of a beat. So you're hitting that, it probably isn't even a 16th, but as soon as that thing comes along, on this version anyways, we'll see how well this works, you actually can hit that note a little early. This game, on the other hand, you cannot hit that note early at all, or else it'll and be like, I hit that note completely right. But, however, and this is why I gripe about this, you can hit it about maybe like a 16th of a beat later, so you can, and oh shoot, I nearly missed it, and you hit it, and you're like, what, I hit that note? I was already gone by the time I actually bothered strumming at it, but that's kind of one of the gripes I have with the thing. But, I mean, at the same time, it was really good. The fact of the matter is you don't exactly know who your character is, but that's also because it's a live play, and you don't actually watch your character in live play. You watch everybody else's character, well, all the other people do their thing, and it's kind of actually cool. But with all that being said, Guitar Hero Live, we get about a rating of a 6 to a 7 for me. It's not terrible. The live mechanic works really well. The guitar controller feels actually very crisp. Of course, I'm more of a Guitar Hero person because of the feeling. If you're gonna be nitpicky, I like the feeling of the Guitar Hero controller better than the Rock Band controller, but every Rock Band games has been at least a 6 or a 7 because they're just bringing the feeling of a Rock Band controller to your house. The feeling of bringing a band to your house and you can play with mates. Now this one's more in the line of the guitar, but you can have 2 guitars and a microphone. So you have essentially everything except for the drummer you can control. That being said, you can't control a keyboard, but who wants to control a keyboard? That being said, guys, my final rating, that being said, that's probably why this game is 6 out of 10. There's not enough content, for example. It's almost Star Wars Battlefront-y content. And I won't buy any DLC for it. Unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan, but they haven't really announced any DLC. If you haven't noticed, they haven't really announced any DLC for Guitar Hero Live because it's all on Guitar Hero TV, which is actually nice because they don't actually make you pay for content that you don't own, and it's really fun to actually play on. It's really fun to actually play. Anyways, that's pretty much all my gripes. What my opinions were. And to be honest, games of this genre are kind of meh. But the presentation and the guitar, if there's any reason you should want to buy Guitar Hero Live, A, because you played Guitar Hero Live games in the past and you've really liked them, and B, I wouldn't recommend it if you're just kind of like I was originally, where you're kind of like, do I want to buy this game because I know it has a new controller and I feel like I could do better with that controller, but also at the same time might help me actually learn guitar a bit better. Yes and no. I wouldn't recommend buying this game because it's meant a lot more for a casual audience. Except that being said, the difficulty jump from a casual to a regular to a hard, and the jump from regular to hard is intense. And when I say intense, it's like you go from to, and it's really hard to hit every note. Honestly, I tried it and was like, nope, can't do it. But at the same time, the game's good. Don't get me wrong. The game is actually one of the best games on. It's not a must-own because you can get it on PS4 on Xbox One. And I'm pretty sure it'd be just as good. Now, that being said, I don't have that much more to say all about it other than, if you want to support Activision, because this game is really good. I'm pretty sure the next Guitar Hero game by Freestyle will be a lot better. I mean, this is just kind of the first one, seeing if there's interest. And let's face it, there was a bit of interest. I'm pretty sure they'll make a Guitar Hero, like Guitar Hero Live, which is technically Guitar Hero Live equals Guitar Hero 6, but they want to rebrand it. So it might be Live 2. It might be the next one, where they'll probably clean up like the cutscene for Guitar Hero TV and stuff. But that being said, guys, this game isn't terrible. It's not. What's a Wii U game that's completely horrible? It's not as meh as some games like Sonic Lost World, or actually no, it's not as meh as Nintendo Land. And Nintendo Land's actually a pretty decent game, but it's just meh because you have to do a whole bunch of mini games, and it's not as fun as you think it might be. This game is actually decent. It gives you quite a few song options, even without, it gives you quite a few genre options without actually having to play in Guitar Hero TV. And Guitar Hero TV actually does give you more genres too, which is actually kind of fun, because, I was playing one of the Luke Bryan songs on there, just to let you know I'm a country boy, but anyways, the game is really solid for gameplay, and all the features in it are really good. However, it does lack content, and there are quite a few minor things that just don't help, especially when it comes to you're playing on a channel and all of a sudden lag happens and you miss probably 10 notes just because you lagged out for 10 seconds. Anyways, guys, that's my time for today. Make sure to like videos. I'm not sure about this, but if you haven't noticed, the one video that's gotten the most views on Super Mustang 9 has 3 dislikes and 0 likes. So, I'm trying to get more likes. Make sure you leave that like button, comment, subscribe. You know what? I really want to take your feedback and make it better. I did unscripted. I probably won't unscript much more review stuff, because I probably reiterated the same points about 100 times in this video. But I want to hear from you guys. What if you really like Guitar Hero Live and you understand my pain? What would you recommend to Activision? And this is a question. And post your answer in the comments. What would you recommend to Activision to make Guitar Hero Live better? Anyways, guys, I'm the Bomb93. don't be afraid to check out my Twitter, Instagram, GamesGrabber. Links will be in the description. But until next time, guys, like always, stay bomb.